Yo, what is up, everyone? It is the Beast. Welcome back to the channel, The Beast on. We are almost there. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, and life will be great when we get to 1,000 subs. So if you see this face, I'm sorry. If you hear this voice, subscribe to the channel, man. We got content coming all the time, from sports to everything else in between. Sports and not sports, all right? Also, you can hit me up on the social at Miami Radio Beast. We got exciting stuff going on here on the channel. But I had to lay the gauntlet down this morning. My boy Kane's Edit on the Twitter machine brought up a great idea. Because we got into a bit of a, not me and him, but a couple of people, my boy Mondo on Twitter, brought up that a certain chain, nationally known chain, is got the best bagels around. And as any self-respecting Jew who may or may not have a stomach larger than life and may or may not eat his feelings every moment of every day, if there's one topic that I can weigh in on, pun intended, it would be bagels, right? I mean, if there's something in my wheelhouse, it would be bagels. Correct? So I had to put a stop to that because in my 44 years of life, I have never once gone into one of these chain bagel places and said to myself, this bagel is better than anything I've had at a mom and pop shop. Now, there's some close, seconds, right? I want to give a shout out to Brooklyn Water Bagel Company. They do it pretty good, right? And I love what they do with their iced coffee. They have the ice cubes that are made out of coffee so that when the ice melts, it's not water, it's coffee. I mean, it's good stuff. But let's be honest, okay? The best bagels you're going to find are at mom and pop shops, okay? Freshly made, right out of the oven. There is no better experience in the world than on a Sunday morning, right? You head yourself over to a local bagel shop that makes the bagels there. Not one of these places that's just a front where the bakery delivers the bagels, 5 hours ago, and by the time you get there, they're already not warm. No. You need to go a place where they make the bagels on site, okay? Now, listen, I live in South Florida, and there's a couple of good places where we could do this, but let's be honest. I may be a bit biased because I'm from Boston, and I used to take a lot of trips to New York when I was a kid. Certainly, those of you that are from Philadelphia will have your take. Maybe Jersey, you'll have your take. I think the best bagels in the United States of America are in the Northeast. Now, some people would say it's the water. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that's why the pizza and the bagels and everything else bread-wise tastes better in the Northeast, because of the water. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. We'll let the scientists deal with that. But what I do know is that in the Northeast, when you go into a mom and pop bagel shop, when they're making the bagels, whether it's a bakery or a bagel shop, whatever, on site, and you go in on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m., right when they open, and those bagels are just put in the bins, there is nothing better. Here's the key to a good bagel, okay? You want to, and here's another thing. If the bagel is good, right? If the bagel is excellent, it does not have to be toasted, right? If it's piping hot, it's just made, it's warm, no reason to toast that bagel. That bagel's got that lovely kind of firm outside, but it's like heaven on the inside, right? Like heaven. You spread a little cream cheese on it. Maybe you go veggie. Maybe you go Nova spread. My wife likes the chive, but a good quality cream cheese, not some dreck that you get at the grocery store. Like real good bagel shop, delicatessen cream cheese. You spread that on there. you're home free. You don't need to toast that thing. You don't need to cover it up with other stuff. You're home free. As for flavors of bagels, I mean, if you want to be vanilla, you go plain. That's fine. When I was a kid, I went egg. Egg, okay, that's old school. My favorite bagel of all time is a pumpernickel. I love a pumpernickel bagel. That color, that brown color, that taste. So good. Oh, a pumpernickel bagel gets it to me. But if you want to be exotic, maybe you go everything, which I think is a little over the top. Maybe you go onion, garlic. Back in the day, a lot of people I knew went salt bagel. Little too much for me. Little too much for me. Maybe you're like my mom. You don't do carbs. So the best you do is a bialy, which is also heaven. Oh man, the onions right in the middle of a bialy, that'll get it done. So there's lots of good flavors of bagels out there. But the best bagel from a bagel shop, no need to be toasted, no need to be finagled with. Just give me that bagel, fresh, some nice, wonderful, premium cream cheese, and boom, you're good to go. So, what am I talking about? Well, up in Beantown, where I'm from, there's a couple of places you're going to go. The Originator, the place where it all started, where my dad grew up, where my grandparents grew up. My dad's side of the family is from. Back in the day, it was the Jewish ghetto, right? It was equivalent to your Brooklyn in New York. It was where all the Jews stemmed from, up in Beantown, a city called Chelsea. Now, nowadays, Chelsea is a little more Hispanic. That's cool. But there's a place still there that makes unbelievable bagels. It's Katz's. Katz's Bakery gets it done. As opposed to Katz's Deli in New York, which also gets it done. But different, totally different. Katz's. And then there's a place in Brookline, family run. You got to try Kooples. Kooples, unbelievable bagels. Now, when I said I don't like chain bagels, I'm speaking of one in particular, certain brothers, if you will, but I don't want to go there and single them out. Now, I will say, in my time in Boston, I visited a small chain of bagel stores called Finagle a Bagel, and they do okay. When I was an intern in radio at WEEI in Boston, and I'd work on the weekends and the mornings, they would send me over to Copley Square, go pick up a dozen bagels from Finagle a Bagel. It got it done. Not the same as Katz's, not the same as Kooples, but pretty good. Better than anything you're going to find here in South Florida, really. Now, let's talk about the Mecca. And listen, I have all the disagreements in the world with the city of New York when it comes to sports, because I'm a Bostonian, I'm a Miamian. Either way you look at it, we don't like New York from a sports perspective. But New York City is unbelievable. And every time I go there, I love it. It's great being in the big city. So much to offer. And especially when it comes to bagels and pizza, you're not going to find a better place on earth. I'm sorry. You could bring up Philly, you could bring up Chicago, you could bring up Montreal's got weird bagels. You got some New York transplants in LA, Florida, wherever. Nothing is going to beat getting a bagel in New York City, okay? Now, specifically, when it comes to New York City, I remember going to New York City as a kid. We'd take a weekend trip down from Boston, right? A 4-hour journey down to NYC. We'd stay at the Marriott Marquis. We'd pull up. We'd go to the Carnegie Deli. Maybe we'd get corned beef. Maybe we'd get a lox sandwich. Who knows? But I know this. On the way out of town on Sunday, my mom made it a point. We got to stop at Zabar's, which is like the mecca of Jew food store, gourmet Jew food store in New York City. Look it up, Zabar's, Zabar, apostrophe S. We would stop off at Zabar's on the way out of town. We'd get a bag of Jew food, roll it on home to Boston, be in heaven. All right, that's one thing you could do. There's 2 places in New York you got to go for a bagel. Most famous, I think, is Essa Bagel. One of the most famous bagel places in the country. You got to try that. Now, I found it, it's not really a hidden gem, but a spot I hadn't checked out before. A couple of years ago, right around July 4th, on July 4th, actually, we were in New York with my wife's family. And we were just, heading around doing the tourism thing. And we happened to find ourselves down by Wall Street really early in the morning. We had a day plan. And so I said to myself, we're in New York. It's morning. We need a bagel. So I'm on the Google machine on my phone, and I found a mom and pop joint, small little place, right? The kind of place where the line goes outside because there's only 3 or 4 people that can fit inside. You got to try this place if you get down there. Financial District in New York. Leo's Bagels. Leo's Bagels. Oh, standing there in the street corner, eating a bagel with the cream cheese. I'm there right now in my head. I can feel it. Just steps away from Wall Street, I'm having the best bagel I've ever had. So check out Leo's. But this huzzarai, this crap that you're talking about with some chain, with bagels is better than anything you've ever had. Get the hell out of here. GTFOH, okay? Listen, you don't have to believe me, but is there anyone else on this subject that you're going to believe more than me? The short, portly, bald Jew that's been eating bagels since birth? Probably not. Just going to say that. All right. I had to get this off my enlarged chest because it was bothering me. I couldn't believe I had this discussion last night on the Twitter. All right. Hey, again, subscribe to the channel. We're almost there to put us over the top. Start using this thing to support the family. Share this video. If you see it on the Facebook, the Twitter, wherever you see it, tell your friends, and go find a good bagel, please. You deserve it, right? I'll see you when I see you. Peace.